Family residential, limit the amount of rental property. I think the more you can limit the rental property, I think the better you're going to maintain everything else. Maybe develop an entertainment district, but the infrastructure's got to keep pace with everything else. If the infrastructure doesn't keep pace, then it doesn't matter what you develop, because it's all going to be stagnated. You have to have the roads, you have to have the sewers, you have to have everything to maintain it. So you have to start with the underbelly and then work out from there.
Saying, oh, it's an excellent community for family restaurants. We also talked about it would be great if we had some type of a sports complex, more of an indoor to add to what we already have, like at Three Springs. And then we thought it would be nice, and this I guess calls maintain some farmland, which is the same as maintain green space. And we would say that it has an excellent police force. We have very low problems in the area. And then we brought up too that access to retail shops, and we're talking about what I think you had similar already, specialty retail shops. And the same thing too with the development of the Main Street area. Trying maybe get something similar to St. Charles where you have restaurants and shops and things. And we'd love to see TIF reduced. It seems like that's kind of a sore thumb for everybody, both in our taxes and in handing it out.
Public library access, not having to go to O'Fallon or somewhere and pay a fee, an annual fee or anything like that, but it's like, hey, you know, it's part of our taxes or whatever. We certainly would have an access on that. I guess the whole idea is what we call a tree-lined town, mix of retail businesses and residences.
So part of our vision would be to further develop our downtown area, very similar to St. Charles, to where it's mixed use, to where you would have condos and townhouses and restaurants, kind of old town style. It needs to be pedestrian friendly, to where we have bike and walking paths throughout the community tied to Scott Air Force Base. And then our major intersections also need to be pedestrian friendly. A good example of that is Frank Scott and Greenmount, and then where the Drury Inn is. Today, if you stay at the Drury Inn, you can't safely walk over to Target. You have to get in your car and drive.
We have some commonality in that I think people want to have it sounds like you want to have a centralized location to go for a lot of entertainment uses, shopping, and things like that. But there's a kind of a split, I think, on what exactly that means and what that looks like. So that's something that we'll have to work on over the next several months as we develop the plan and work through it with the Planning Commission a little bit. And then we're going to take all this information and start making kind of the guiding principles for the future of Shiloh and working through it with the village and the Planning Commission. And they'll be in public meetings with them, so you'll be able to comment as we go along, and we'll have the village probably post things on the website, or we may post it on ours. We'll send out notices either way. But and that's it. So we'll be wrapping up sometime in the fall. So keep an eye out for the next meeting where we'll come back and present a lot of the things that the Planning Commission worked out.